I am so grateful that I grew up in an environment like that, because I think it helped me mature a lot faster than some 16, 17, 18 year olds.
Absolutely.
And
what's part of that, like fathering?
Yeah.
Like that is one part of being a father is having standards.
Yeah.
For the people that are bearing your name.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
so because you wore a Lynx t-shirt, you were a Lynx instructor,
Yeah.
you were bearing the name of your instructor. And like I know that when I put on a Krav Maga Israel t-shirt that I represent Ron.
Yeah.
I bear his name, and that's why there's a very large connection between martial arts, like mentorship and fatherhood.
Yeah.
Because your kids bear your name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
I mean, essentially, at the end of the day, all we are is the children.
Yeah, the products of you know of like our mentors and like our fathers, and whatever conglomeration that you know that comes into, like whatever personality traits we accept or we reject.
Yeah.
Is very similar to how we would with like our parents.
Yeah.
You know, like we take certain traits.
Yeah.
We adopt certain negative traits. We reject certain traits.
Yeah.
You know, and then we become a conglomeration of them and our other influences in life. You know, so it's like it's the same in martial arts. I've been so thankful to have many instructors.
Yeah.
Not just one. You know, who's drilled me in like the ways of his particular style.
Yeah.
You know, like I've had a lot of instructors, and most of them are fairly, to coin another Craig Douglas term, martially agnostic.
Yeah.
Like they are like not a believer. They haven't bought into anything in particular.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you know, and that's to me like a true self-defense mindset is I've never bought into anything in particular.
Right, because it gives you an open mind.
Yep. Like I've never bought in that this is the way, you know, and that's what I love about like Krav Maga is Krav Maga, like its meaning is contact combat.
Yeah.
Or like contact fighting.
Yeah.
Meaning so close that I can touch you fighting.
Yeah.
Because in the military you have lots of like versions of fighting, which Krav Maga is a military martial arts. So you have, well, I can shoot at you fighting. I can bomb you fighting.
Yeah.
I can send a rocket to you fighting.
Long range tools.
Right, exactly. You know, so or now, but this is particularly fighting where I can touch you.
Yeah.
You know, and you can touch me.
Yeah.
So it's like any combat inside of that range. Now, what does that mean?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
It means what's effective.
Right.
You know, so and I love that. So some Krav Maga gyms will take it one way and another, and like this is why people are like, well, I've trained at this other gym and I'm gonna come to your gym. I'm like, yeah, you're starting at Foundations with me.
Right.
Oh, why? Well, because there's no standards in our industry.
Right. So, and it's the same with Muay Thai, because there really isn't like a curriculum.
No, there isn't.
There's
it's
no
individual
curriculum.
instructors.
And up until last year, or this year, I'm sorry, they didn't have a belt structure.
Yeah.
So it came out literally, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago that Muay Thai now has a belt system. Because, guess what? It's now in the Olympics, finally.
Yeah.
So now it's going to become more mainstream than it is already.
Positives and negatives.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
positives and negatives.
So
the Olympics might have destroyed Taekwondo.
They might. It hasn't destroyed judo though. Like
no, it has not. Judo is for animals.
Yeah, it is. So we're going off the rails here, but anyway, like it hasn't, which is great. So explosive, man.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
you watch it in slow motion. It's like poetry.
Yeah, it is. Look at the form. Look at his
like, whoa.
feet in the air. Like, it's crazy. But I think like being at Lynx, too, for me was awesome because not only did I have Frank like to really like influence like those high standards and expectations in my form and technique as a student, but also as like an instructor. But like the staff that he had there as well, every single one of those people had their own teaching style.
Yeah.
How they got Frank's standards across, techniques across.
Yeah.
But I think Frank saw the value in having different types of instructors in order to appeal to his clients, right? His students, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, there was a specific reason why there's 200 some odd people that training at that facility.
Yeah.
We at one point there was 300 people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's insane.
Yeah. It's a huge especially like in this area.
Yeah,
you know,
it's hard to keep people.
Yeah, it is. But
yeah, in like my former gym as well would like, and I think that this was during the heyday of kind of like, not there isn't a heyday now, but like there used to be, I think, a larger one. Yeah, we had 320 members at our gym.
Yeah.
You know, like, and we were right next to each other. Lynx and my gym were practically right next to each other for like
right
quite a
down the
while.
street.
Yeah, we're right across the way. So we both had 300 members in each one of our gyms.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it
you
is.
know,
And that
training.
we're coming consistently.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And now we're in the days of like the subscription mindset.
Yeah.
Right? And there's really no commitment.
It's harder.
It
Yeah.
really is. It's challenging
challenging,
to have a school that has consistent a consistent body count is
Yeah.
what I'll say.
Yeah.
Because but that's really on the owner and the staff there to really develop a culture.
Community.
Yes, a culture of community and commitment.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of martial arts schools kind of fall short. And now over the past like 3 or 4 years, I've been involved in like some slight like contracting work with other martial arts schools and kind of helping them build their business and do stuff like that and training their instructors and going over their curriculums and plans and how they have everything set up. And I find that the ones that have a solid culture, whether they have 80 students or 350, as long as the culture is has a community mindset, school's golden.
Well, because I think that like, just like when we come into when we came into martial arts, like one of the things that I think that I wanted to do was grow up.
Yeah.
And like I knew, and that's why I came into it as a kid, like so as a teenager, because I knew that I needed growing up, and I didn't. And yes, I could do that from my father, but so I have a theory about that. My theory is that it's hard for dads to mature their own kids.
Yeah.
Because they love them.
Right.
And sometimes maturing takes a little bit of tough love or hard love.
Right.
And it's hard to be both, like loving father and tough love giver.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, especially as they become a teenager and they stop listening to you. You know, like it's easier to be the loving parent and send your kids off to other people who can smack them around. They'll probably listen to them.
Yeah.
To Mr. So-and-so, whoever, you know, because he's awesome and he's cool.
Yeah.
Dad's just kind of mid.
Yeah.
You know, but Mr. So-and-so, like, he's an ex-Navy SEAL, like, you know, he's a badass, like, dude, like, he's everything I want to be. And so you send him to him, and you go, you better straighten up.
Right.
You know, and then he gets kicked around by this dude at like a job or an instructing position with you and Frank, and then you come home to your dad and go, oh man.
Yeah.
Like
what happened, son?
That was rough.
Yeah.
And then your dad goes, well, what happened? Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Well, do you think you'd made any adjustments here?
Yeah.
You know, no, I believe in you.
Yeah.
You know, and so you get to be like,
dad gets to be the superhero.
Yeah, dad gets to be loving dad.
Yeah.
And you can have someone else
Beat you up.
beat up your kid for you.
Yeah.
You know, like you know,
there is a lot of
just mentally.
There's a lot of
maybe physically if you're in martial arts.
Yeah. But there's a lot of value to that.
There's a ton of value to that
because you're right. 15, 16, 17, 18.
You don't listen to your dad.
I didn't want to listen to my dad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it was so bad. It was so bad that like him and I just like it was really hard for us to communicate.
Yeah.
Because like when my dad got upset with me about my grades in school and me doing stupid stuff, like he was like the first thing he would do, he'd be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna tell Scott, and I'm like, no, don't tell Scott. Like that was the first thing that came to my head, right?
Yep.
And then sure enough, my dad was like, okay, we'll see. Sure enough, I go to class the next day, and Scott goes, hey, tell me about this thing that you did. And dude, my heart sunk.
Yeah, that was me. So like that was my mom with like my instructor too. So, like, you know, so it was a far more potent thing.
Yeah.
To have to like talk to my instructor about me screwing up.
When he said that he was disappointed in me, oh my gosh, dude. It broke my spirit.
Parents knew that. We're playing it.
I knew Scott and my dad were in collusion. I knew they were. I knew it. My dad had Scott's phone number and everything.
Yep.
So and like as I grew up and became like an instructor myself.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see the value then, but like I saw it as I was coming up in
Yeah.
the instructor world. Like,
Yeah.
I saw how important my relationship was with my clients and my
Yep.
students. Like, I saw how important that was, and taking that responsibility on
Yeah.
brought a lot of like what's the word I'm looking for? It brought a lot of like fulfillment to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
knowing that I was going to be essentially a support system for 70 kids,
Yep.
right? And some adults,
Yep.
right, that
Oh,
I
yeah.
taught, right? Like
Yeah. Well,
even
there's-
now that I'm
yeah.
older, like I have a sphere of influence over, people that are younger than me,
Yeah.
right? Because I
It's-
have more life experience.
Yeah, it's pretty
essentially.
incredible, and like the amount of like counseling that I've done with clients.
Yeah.
Like I should have like, a side gig.
We should.
You know, but it's easy to like conflate like being good at one thing with being good with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so that's why like when we're doing this podcast, things stay generally around like the martial arts right now.
Yeah.
It's where we're experts. So maybe we'll stray into other stuff in the future.
Yeah.
And talk about life experience stuff. But
Yeah.
we're experts at teaching and like martial arts.